I don't want to use the word depressed because I feel like it's a strong word and people just throw the narrative depressed out. But I was very down every day. Like, I'm not going to say, I stayed in bed and all that stuff, because that's not true. You're at the point where you question like what you're doing with your life, where's your life going and stuff, and a lot of negative thoughts, I'd say. But then you have to snap out of it because unfortunately life keeps going on, and you gotta. The only person that can help yourself is yourself.
Well, for those people that don't know you, you are a professional boxer, 16-0 at the minute. But we always like to take it back, hear a little bit about your kind of backstory. You're from Bolton, aren't you? What was Khaleel like early days in Bolton?
Just a chubby, mischievous kid, you can say. And luckily, I found, it was Thai boxing, sorry, down with Sandy Hook. Because that's where my dad used to train, and then it just escalated into boxing. And never looked back since.
Was he upset when you left the kickboxing behind and then transitioned into the boxing?
To be honest with you, I was kind of glad because I was no good on my feet. I mean, the kicks and stuff, I was quite slow, but fast with my hands, but slow with my feet. So, definitely glad I left that behind.
Yeah. Did you still do kickboxing?
No. He still trains and stuff, but nothing like that.
But at least having somebody like in combat sports, that must have been, good for you in terms of just like him being able to, because he's quite massively important in your career, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he plans and does everything. I just follow suit, but yeah, he plays a big part in my boxing career from the start till now.
Are you at the same gym that you started? Because aren't you at Halliwell? Was that the same gym?
I'm still here. I actually came here when I was 15. Actually, 15. I actually came here when I was picked for the St Davis Cup in, I think it was in Hereford, when I was boxing England, and I went there. And yeah, so I've always had a good relationship with Halliwell, well, elite, and just carried on.
That's actually quite nice, though, to see that transition from the amateurs to the pros, familiar setting, familiar people. And I'm guessing we'll get onto in a minute your new or the additional person to your team, but you're still with your old trainer, aren't you?
Yeah, so obviously I'm with Buddy McGirt and I'm with Matt Bianco, yeah.
That's great. It's great to hear that you've kind of kept your old trainer in the loop as part of the team, so he can earn a bit of dough as well.
I need to earn some myself.
Hey, it's coming. It's coming.
God willing.
It will. So, talk to me about your amateur background, because you had 100 or nearly 100 fights, didn't you?
Yeah, I had. It's either, I think it's 104, 107 amateur fights. Lost 7, I remember. Boxed for England, won a few national titles, got selected for the European Games. I've had a decent amateur career.
Great accomplishments, but you wanted to then, I'm guessing like everybody else, you had dreams of going to the Olympics, getting on the podium squad, and that didn't quite work out the way that you wanted it to did it?
In my last year at the ABAs, I think it was the youths I got told where if you win the ABAs this year, you're going to get on the development squad. So, because I was sort of like, yeah, okay, no problem. But then, first time ever in my career, from the start, from when did I start? From 11 years old, I got a bad decision, literally, and I was like, well, and then it just set me back because I'm like, what do I do now? It's like you can stay on, obviously, but then there's no guarantee. You got to wait another 4 years, and then I just got a bad decision, and it kind of disheartened me. But it was like, what's next? But then at the time, I was already training with a professional coach, and I was actually sparring professionals, so it just made the transition made more sense.
Thinking about you training with professionals,
Yeah.
do you think that had a bearing on your performance at all? Because I come from the amateur scene, and I've seen it happen in the past. Do you think that had, informed the way you performed, if that makes sense?
To be honest, no, because I've actually got the video. I actually beat the kid. I don't want to say black and blue, and I've just no idea how I got the decision. Really, I've no idea. But it happened, and I'm kind of glad it happened because it prepared me for the professional game. But at the time, I think we was the first of our year group to do it changed to 3 3-minute rounds because then it used to be 3 2s or 4 2s, but then it just transitioned into 3 3-minute rounds. So it can and it went to pro scoring as well. So it didn't really. It was like basically what I was doing anyway. So yeah,
We talked about you coming from Halliwell. Obviously, Boston's in Lincolnshire. Bolton is well known, the most well known probably for Amir Khan. Gosh, I remember when he went to the Olympics and he won that silver. They got their funding actually off the back of him. I'm guessing he was a massive influence in your career.
yeah, of course. I mean, not just for myself, but I see a lot of the South Asian community and the town of Bolton. So yeah, he's done very well for himself. So full props to him.
So you're looking for some of that Mir Khan level money then?
Hopefully one day.
Yeah, please God. So you start off on that small hall, you turn over pro, you start off on that small hall scene, and then I understand it kind of took you a little bit of a momentum to get to the kind of, let's say, quote unquote, bigger leagues. So how was that kind of small hall scene? Because I hear from other people that you're not always respected as a small hall scene boxer, and B, I hear it's very tough. So how did that kind of inform you?
Well, to be fair, when I eventually turned over, I actually had a deal with a big promoter. I can't name who at the time, and it didn't materialize. But I'm kind of glad it did. Kind of glad it didn't because I had to go back into the small halls, and I never knew anything about selling tickets and just the basic stuff of boxing. I never knew to it. But I started on the small halls, and thank God I managed to be able to build myself a great following, support, and it's led me here today.
Yeah, I've heard about that great following, and they seem like a loyal bunch of followers because they've kind of followed you from then to now, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even the COVID obviously didn't help. For 2 years, couldn't fight, couldn't do anything. And when I actually came back from COVID, I think that's when it just kind of grew bigger, the support. It just, people were more excited to come to the fights and stuff, and that's what really escalated.
So tell me about that tweet to Eddie Hearn. Yeah, obviously that's the way that it led to you being signed. Tell me about that tweet. Was it more
Oh,
about confidence or desperation?
no, to be fair, at the time, I mean, I was in the small halls, but I had a lot of people who wanted to pick me up at the small hall, but then I can't go into the business of things, but it wasn't, I can't really explain it, but it wasn't really ideal at the time. So then I'm thinking, what have I got to lose? I'm stuck on the small halls. I can't get the fights I want. It's really hard to get opponents. And people, like, a lot of people don't realize where, yeah, you might sell a load of tickets, but that's not your money. The opponent costs a fortune. So when you're telling people that you got to pay for the opponent, like, what? You have to pay for it? I'm like, yeah. And then I just remember, I just tweeted out to Eddie. I go, Eddie, I think it's, let's say, give me like 650 tickets or something. And before you know it, I got signed.
I like that. Fair play to you. Fair play to you. Because sometimes I think we could be
Sorry, I
frightened
just want to say though, I always want to give massive thanks to Eddie Earn and Frank Smith because they was the first ones that give me my opportunity to kind of make my name a bit. So a big thank you to them.
I think that's great that you appreciate that it was a stepping stone, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I just mean that you're now onto a different path. But some people don't acknowledge that, Khaleel. So that's fair play to you for that. What would you have done if he'd have said no?
And I just keep trying. I mean, my dad's always said to me, "What have you got to lose? You got to keep knocking the doors. You got to keep kicking the doors until you get where you want to get. Otherwise, unfortunately, silent mouths in this game, you don't really get anywhere. But I've always been fortunate where, yeah, I can fight in small halls and sell tickets. I can fight on big shows and sell tickets. But for me to push on in my career, I needed that kind of platform at the time. So, yeah, big shout out to Eddie for that.
And to be fair, that kind of builds a little bit of resilience, doesn't it? You're having to sort of sell tickets, you're having to go to people, form these relationships, and I'm guessing it made it a little bit easier.
I mean, selling tickets is never easy. It's very difficult, as any boxer can say. But I'm just very fortunate that I'm able to do it, and I have the support of my dad to go out and actually sell the tickets. I mean, if I didn't, I wouldn't be in this position today. That's the truth.
We'll talk about kind of the journey of your boxing in a minute, but I want to talk about your last fight against David Ryan. What an entertaining fight! Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's one of them fights that I think if people didn't know your name, it kind of reintroduced you to them or introduced you to them, if that makes sense.
To be honest with you, I wasn't meant to fight David Ryan. I was meant to fight, I can't name the opponent, but a high profile opponent. But then I think like 4 or 5 weeks ago, it didn't happen and contract wasn't signed. So he was the only option available. I mean, I didn't want to fight him, let's be realistic, because I couldn't get up for him. Because you mean fighting guys who are like kind of known and stuff, things you like fights you can get up for. And then when you kind of, no disrespect to him, you kind of drop back down. It's very hard. You know, you got to be disciplined, but it's very hard to get motivated for it. But I did what I had to do, and never can push on.
But you talk about having to get up for a fighter, and I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
Khaleel. That you know, I've seen it in the past where you even see it in spars where someone spars somebody of the same level,
Kinda drops to that level.
and it drops the level, yeah.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're fighting, you know, Shakur Stevenson having a little spar, and then all of a sudden you're like, who's this kid?
You raise the levels, yeah.
Yeah, so I totally understand that, but what have you learned about managing this getting up for an opponent?
I'd just be disciplined. Listen, motivation is temporary. You've got to be disciplined. And I had a lot of stuff going on like prior to the fight, but I knew I had to win that fight, particular to get onto this, which hopefully next fight, which can get announced very soon.
It was great showing actually. One of the
And you know
things-
what? I just want to say as well. Sorry. I want to thank everyone. I had over 1,000 people that came out to that fight, and I fought at midnight. As crazy as it was, I fought at midnight, and they all stayed. So a big thank you to everyone that stayed.
That is great. That is great that they all stayed. And yeah, it was for me. I like a technical fighter anyway, and I just think one of the things for me is that jab of yours. It's and your ability to read and respond in the moment is, I think, is beautiful.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So, gosh, 1,000 tickets, I should say, and you know, people sticking by you, and that seems to be something about your personality that keeps these people coming back. But you did talk about that you had a difficult time prior to that fight. It was a personal and professional. Do you want to kind of elaborate on that?
The last, what we now 2026. Since 2024, well, sorry, mid-end towards 2024, my mum got ill, unfortunately. Like, thanks to God now, she's recovering and stuff. And that's one of the reasons I couldn't get back out to the States with Buddy, because obviously I was in training camp at the time, and then I found out my mum got ill. And I was stuck over there, and I was meant to have a fight coming up, and then I actually got injured, crazy, but I think it was a message from God. And then obviously then the Alex Murphy fight came round. To be fair, I didn't even want to fight him. I couldn't really get up for it. Fought him, and then obviously I fought David Ryan, and now it puts me in this position today. But I've had a lot of problems in the background. But yeah, I mean, I'm here thanks to God, and yeah, my career's taken off again.
Is it difficult to see life going on around you?
Yeah, but from a boxing perspective, like people you never even kind of heard of are like kind of taking over, if that what makes sense. And that's just the competitiveness with it. So that was the only reason why, you know what, I need to get back. I'd say that's what my drive was.
I like your honesty. I think sometimes it's difficult to find that motivation
Yeah.
when you're trying to get back into the gym and everything else is pulling your attention. And that like little bit of competitiveness has gone, hold on a minute.
Because I mean, at the time, I started getting a few callers by people I've never heard of. I promise you, I've never even heard of these people. I mean, after I beat Tom Farrell, everyone was silent. Nobody wanted to fight me. And then when the time at the ring, people started getting a bit confident, you know, from fighting a few journeymen, and yeah.
Yeah, the chest started to get a little bit high. Yeah. Funny that when you're not around.
Exactly.
So you're obviously aware of all this going on though.
Yeah, of course. If you look, you're getting tagged on your phone and it's coming up on the notification. I'm like, all right, okay.
Obviously, your mother was ill, and you know, thank God she's better now, from what I understand.
Yeah, she's better. Well, yeah.
Yeah, and after your fight against David, you donated some money, didn't you? To
No, that was the fight
charity?
before. Was it?
Oh, was that the fight
Well,
before?
yeah, that was the fight before. So I donated, well, whatever. Obviously, I can't say what the deal I was on, but the team commission what I received, I give it all to Christie's in Manchester, the ones that they looked after my mum full time. So give everything what I earned to them. It's the first time I've ever heard of Christie's. I never knew what Christie's was. I never knew, like, it's just, it's a special hospital for cancer patients and stuff. Never heard of it until then. So big thank you to Christie's.
And are they just in Bolton then?
No, it was in Manchester near the airport. There was, I think it's near Wythenshawe or something. They were based, and no, there's quite a few. I've actually never heard of them. That was the first time. Yeah,
To be honest, I'd never heard of them until I
yeah,
started researching you. So
yeah.
I think by you donating on national television, you have not only given thanks, you've raised or helped raise their profile.
Well, yeah. You know what? I really do want to keep raising awareness for Christians. I don't want to keep banging on about it because it feels like you're trying to, you know what I mean. People might get the wrong kind of perception. So I've not really mentioned it since, but they're amazing people. I really could not thank them enough.
What's that?
It's the
Ice cream man.
It's the ice cream man. You know
Oh
what I mean?
I haven't heard that. Oh my gosh! I was like, in my head, I'm thinking, have you ever seen that Eddie Murphy thing? Ice cream. Have you ever
Ice
seen
cream.
that?
I can't have it. Every day at this time it comes around. I think there's a park around the corner from where I'm staying, and that's where it goes.
So did you feel like during that sort of time, with the injury and stuff, and then trying to get yourself back, did you feel like you were sidelined slightly?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the time I was injured. Like, you can't really train because of the injury, and then obviously you got stuff going on at home. So it's like, what do you do? I mean, boxing's all I know. It's all I've done since I was 7. So it was very frustrating, but I mean, everything happens for a reason, I believe. So you just got to think positive, and here we are.
You're still based in Bolton, aren't you? And
Yeah,
then
correct.
Buddy
Yeah.
comes to you rather than you going to LA.
Well, now I either go there or he comes here. But at this present time, he's training Callum for the fight in April 17th or 18th against Morel. So he's actually in Liverpool. So I'll go down there.
But you've still kind of got that kind of close relationship still
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
So tell me about going out to LA, because I understand you went out, got your backside handed to you a few times.
You know what? That was in Florida. I mean, the guy I sparred, but he goes, he's the same weight. And I'm in the ring with him. I think this guy's a bit big. I'm thinking I'm big, but this guy's definitely big. I mean, I was punching him with everything. He keeps coming forward. Then eventually he was a super middleweight, but I said, "But he's a super middleweight," and Buddy just like turned the other way, laughing. It's funny, though.
Yeah, he knew. He's like, and
Yeah, it was funny, but yeah, it was a good learning curve.
do you see any differences in terms of not just the technical differences, the way that they train out there, the hunger maybe? Do you see the differences between the UK and USA?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, over there you got like different styles. A lot of Kazakhstan fighters, and as you know, they're all like very good. I mean, they may be unheard of, but they're all very, very good fighters. I was very fortunate at the time. Obviously, there was Callum Smith, there was Dillian White, there was Kovalev, there was Daniel Yulusinov, and I managed to pick, bits and bats from each single fighter. So you got to be like a sponge, especially against them kind of people who are world class fighters. So yeah, you just got to be a sponge and try picking as much information as you can.
Yeah, listen, that's actually incredible. Is it a case of that you realise that, okay, there's levels that I need to hit by watching these fighters and then pinching?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like now when I go down to Liverpool, I watch Callum Smith all the time, whether he's just shadowboxing, just little things. I mean, it's a fine margin in this sport. I make a big difference. And I'm very fortunate that I can be around these fights and pick these kind of things up.
Can you reveal who the hardest spar was out there for you in Florida, or is that a secret?
No, I can't reveal that. I just don't know his name. I mean, what was his name now? That was the guy who actually beat me up. I think his name was Ward or something. But that was a super middleweight, so it doesn't count.
I I was going to say, if it's kind of a distant memory because you're trying to forget it.
Honestly, I still can't forget it. I let another man put hands on me. I can't forget it.
But also, there's Kazakhs. That must be like to watch them. Like,
I used to watch what's he calling it, Daniel Yulusinov spar. Unbelievable fighter, unbelievable. And I mean, and like a new kid came in and like tried to put hands on him, and the guy just soon jumped out the ring. You know what I mean? Says it all.
is it? Yeah, but it's one of them things, isn't it? It's like, you go into a gym and it's like they all
But
have to
it's very hostile. It's very hostile though. So especially when you go to new gyms to spar, it's very hostile, and especially when they hear like the English accent and you're not from like you're from out of town and stuff. But credit where it's due. Once you spar and you gain like respect, then it's kind of different.
because it happens from gym to gym. But then
Yeah.
you're from the UK and they're probably thinking, "What's this kid made of?"
Yeah, exactly. Because for some reason they think that we're from the UK and we're soft. They have this perception where you know what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But aren't we got several world champions in that?
Right. Yeah.
So you're saying like you were sidelined, and then obviously then you're now back in the fold. In terms of being injured,
Yeah.
is there? I know you've spoken about seeing other people and that being a kind of motivation for you to get back into training, into the ring. But is there anything that kind of does it help you with anything long term, having gone through that?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, look. There was light in the tunnel on our sideline. Frank Warren, big thank you to him. He gave me an opportunity to open up the live broadcast, the new deal he signed with DAZN. And I opened up the first live DAZN slot. So big thank you to Frank and George and the whole team at Queensbury for that.
So I've noticed that you supported on your social media uh, World Autism Day.
Yeah.
What made you the cause important to you?
Well, my cousin's diagnosed, my dad's nephew diagnosed with autism. And to be fair with you, I never knew what autism was until I seen the Smith brothers always put autism on the shorts. And I think their sister has autism. But then when I found out when obviously my cousin has, he's autistic, that's when I shared it.
Yeah, nice. And is that kind of something that you really want to keep doing in the future? Mixing your boxing career with a mission to sort of raise awareness for causes that you believe in.
Yeah, of course. Not just in like autism alone, like a load of different things. I mean, if one day hopefully I'm in a position where I can help different kind of people from different aspects of life. And it's always about giving back.
So we're actually shooting this during Ramadan, and
Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to kind of ask you a little bit about what it's like, for you. What kind of adjustments do you have to make uh, during this time for your training?
Yeah, so I'll either train early morning or I train late at night to do with closing the fast and opening the fast. So I just alter my training a little bit, but obviously I can't go 100 miles an hour during the times I'm fasting. It's impossible. But yeah, we'll just get on with it.
I know this is something that you probably know about, but just for the people that are tuning in, do you want to just give us a little bit more of an insight as to, the how long you fast for and why you fast?
I'm Muslim, and we do 30 days or 29 days of fasting every year, and it's from sunrise till sunset. Yeah, sunrise till sunset. Got that right. And you're not allowed water for the duration.
So yeah, so you're talking about that you're not allowed to drink in that time, and boxing, it's about endurance, it's
Yeah.
explosive. I'm guessing that has an impact on your sort of stamina and stuff as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, a lot of it's mental, but I just have to tailor my training around it. I mean, look, I won't be going 100 miles an hour. It's just impossible. But we tailor training around the fast and stuff and do what we can.
And in terms of like nutrition, so how do you kind of manage that as well?
So I have a nutritionist and he tells me what to eat when the fast opens and stuff because your stomach shrinks. So like people think that when you open your fast, they're like, what time's it open today? It opens at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. today. So you think that you should eat all the food, but honestly you can't. You have like 2 dates and a bit of water and your stomach's full.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, honestly, your stomach shrinks. So you have to kind of like manage it.
So do you end up eating more kind of liquid foods? I don't know, like smoothies and stuff to try and get everything back in?
Um, yeah, I never know. I mean, look, I just do whatever my nutritionist has. Like, so mine's just specific for me, not for another person. So we just have like light. So I'll open my fast, and then I'll have like a light meal within the hour, and then obviously I'll train, and then I try another meal, and then I'll try my best to have another meal. In the early hours to close, it's simple. I can't. I struggle to eat in the early hours.
In terms of kind of the effects, have you noticed like because some people talk about like the fuzziness and the kind of
Yeah.
cloudy, and some people talk about clarity, and having a sort of psychological edge, have more focus. Have you, have you seen that improve?
Everyone's different. Some people feel like mentally stronger. Some people feel physically stronger. But it's a good thing. I think it's a very good thing for the body because a lot of your empty, it's detoxing your body, which is the benefit of it as well.
And what about the spiritual side?
Yeah, it definitely brings you closer to God because especially in this month, it's like a very holy month, what we believe in. So you got to go to the mosque, you got to pray, you got to do give to charity, and like watch what you say. Like it kind of it helps you, like it's a full cleanse of the body, I should say, and for the soul.
And in terms of like it translating into like, I don't know, the ring or into your training, um, have you kind of seen a shift or have you seen it enhance your work, or how does that kind of have an effect on your work in the gym and the ring?
I mean, I've always believed in God. My faith's a big part of boxing, and going in that ring, it kind of gives you that kind of advantage, like, that God's on your side and stuff. So that's just from obviously my opinion. I can't really speak on others.
And you've turned down fights, haven't you, during Ramadan?
Do you know what the crazy thing is? No, once. So before I did that tweet years ago, there was a show at the time. I think it was April, and it was in Ramadan. And I actually messaged Eddie on Instagram personally. I was like, "Sorry, I can't make it for this date." And then I got another shot. I think it was in August. I made my matchroom debut. Yeah,
So do you feel like that promoters do kind of understand the significance of it nowadays?
yeah, of course. I mean, look, I was meant to fight March on the Moses Eternal show at the co-op, but look, I couldn't because it's Ramadan. Because it's Ramadan, and I won't be fully fit in time.
But that would have been a fight though, wouldn't it, on that card?
Yeah, but it is what it is. I mean, look, the next one be even bigger, so it is what it is.
Yeah, it's true, it's true. Yeah, you can't really, it's one of them things, isn't it? You can't really, like, what ifs, what buts.
Yeah, you can't do other things.
Yeah, no, because you do your
Yeah.
own head in, to be fair. Do you think there's anything else that promoters can do to kind of, I don't know, help Muslim boxers during this period of time?
To be honest with you, obviously I can't speak on sports in general, but promoters promoters actually understand, like, especially Muslims, that they won't fight in Ramadan. So in that credit, I have to give props to probably all the promoters because they understand, like, that once a month of the year a fighter can't really do anything because obviously that's his religion. So yeah, to be fair, you know what, the promoters actually understand that, so I can't really say anything bad about that, or what more they can do to give. Because look, even with Queensbury now, I couldn't fight in Ramadan, and they was fine with it. It's not like, oh, you got to fight and this that. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
yeah,
And like you say, there's been some opportunities, but there'll be others, in
yeah.
the future.
There'll be more to come.
So are you working towards something?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could announce, but hopefully it's a big fight. I mean, I've actually been tagged a few times by like random people saying, "Oh, we should make this fight happen." So it's down to Queensbury to make it happen.
Are we talking April, May, June before the kind of summer break?
Possibly,
Huh?
possibly, possibly.
Uh,
Most
nice,
likely, yes.
nice. And also, I think by that point, Buddy would have finished with
Tell 'em, yeah,
Callum, wouldn't he?
yeah.
So talk to
It's,
me about what it's like working with him.
I mean, it's funny. It is kind of funny, but look, outside the gym is a joker, but inside the gym it's all work, and he's a great addition to the team.
Why choose Buddy over a British trainer?
To be honest with you, I went training previously, in LA before I went to Buddy, and I seen Buddy once. And I just liked his work, what he did at the time with Johnny Beck. And then what happened was I got signed, and then a mutual friend put me in contact with Buddy. And I remember at the time I said to Buddy, "Look, I don't earn that kind of money and stuff," and he just told me to come out there. And from the first session, it was like going back to school, if that makes sense. And we clicked. And from then, was it like 3 years ago? I've been there now 3 years, so it's gone fast, but yeah.
I like the sound of, listen, the man knows when to joke, and then the man knows, you
Went to
know,
work.
when to work. What's the
Yeah.
best piece of advice that you've had from him in during this time?
The best advice is when in doubt, stick it out. That's his famous line. That's the best advice he's given. Free of charge. Free of
Nothing
charge.
profound.
Nothing profound. The free advice that he gives to everyone.
And you say that you kind of almost went back. Almost went back to school, or I can't remember the words you said, but he's kind of almost broken you down and built you.
It's just like little tweaks, like from throwing jab, from your position in the ring, your distance, just like minute details. And obviously at the time, you don't really understand, but when you see other fighters, he's training like the bigger names, how they listen to Buddy and don't like. There's no egos. They can't tell, but like everyone has respect for Buddy. If that makes sense. So that's where you see the adjustments being made, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't work, he doesn't force you to do it. If that makes sense. He'll find a way for you to make it work.
And also, sometimes things just don't land for certain people. It doesn't translate to their style, if that makes sense. And I think that one of the important things that you've just kind of emphasized is named boxers not
Yeah.
having any ego and listening to Buddy. Is that part of the key that no matter how famous or successful you get, you need somebody that's going to keep it real with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, Dylan White's a big guy, but Brown Buddy's like a big teddy bear. It's crazy, honestly. But the respect he has for Buddy, not just Dillian, Callum, Danny Lusanov, Kovalev, just what I seen at that specific time. You got to listen to them, man. So yeah,
There's a fine line, isn't there, between a trainer being an employee versus a friend, isn't there?
yeah, definitely. I mean, look, when I went with Buddy, it was just more of come out here and train and see what you think of it. I didn't think that I'm going to be with him. I didn't imagine at that time I'd be with him like until now, like 3 years working together. But it clicked and we understand each other's style. He's not tried to change my style, he's just added on and made like tweaks, which is it's good to have in my arsenal.
Would you say that regardless of whether it's going to go down well or not, and it possibly might fracture a boxer's ego, is Buddy the type of trainer that's going to tell you it as it is?
Oh yeah, I mean look, I've got Buddy and also my amateur coach, Matt Bianco, who I've been working with the whole way as well. And they're both looking sync. They're both so much it helps me obviously. Because when I can't go there, I'm here, and obviously vice versa. So they both play the part, and I think the minute you don't really listen to them is the minute you got to move on or get someone else.
And it sounds like neither of those two have got ego in order to work together as well. Is there a kind of situation where, Buddy's the head coach and then they kind of have make sure that they're singing off the same hymn sheet?
To be honest with you, would it like I'm not put like anyone head or anything. Buddy's always been my coach, which he has. But they both work together. I'd say it's equal, which is great because you don't want one person feeling lesser than the other because they're both doing great work. And the goal is for me to win at the end of the day, so they're both helping me to win.
Yeah, listen, it sounds like you've got the best of both worlds, that you've got two trainers that are just interested in putting the fighters' interests above their own. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah.
I will ask though, what is the hardest thing that Buddy has asked you to change?
To be honest, it's not really the same. Not really made me changing anything. It's just been more. Good question, that, actually. It's been more switched on from the first round to the 10th round or the 12th round. That's one thing that he's really big on.
And
Yeah.
it's important as well,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I mean, anything can happen. Anything can happen in a split second.
Yeah, yeah. You seem to me very I mean, I've seen you obviously you're obviously active on social media, but it
Yeah.
feels to me like that you kind of not resistant about it, but it's just business and you kinda keep yourself to yourself and you just get on with your training. Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah. I mean, look, if it was up to me, if I didn't do boxing, honestly, I don't think I'd have Instagram. Honestly, I would have like. There's no need for me to have it, but obviously the position I'm in, and you got to keep people in the loops, and the Instagram's a good tool to have.
Yeah.
Through that. Other than that, I'm not. If I didn't do boxing, I would probably would have Instagram.
To be honest with you, neither would I. So, listen, what do you think the rest of, 2026 I know you can't say too much, but
Yeah.
in an ideal world, what would the rest of 2026 look like for you?
To be honest with you, I don't know what the rest of 2026 would look like, but for my next fight, it's about picking up a title. That's my full focus at this time, and that's what my team's working on behind the scenes, with a good, credible opponent. And listen, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I've been with Light keeps getting mentioned. Me and Gavin Gwyd,
Good
and
fight that.
yeah, it's a very good fight. And he's an exciting style. I'm an exciting style fighter. And to be honest with you, even if I headline that show myself, I'm confident to sell the show out myself.
I actually like that opponent for you.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, listen, I wouldn't even call him an opponent because look, he's been a former champion. It'd be uh, it'd be an honest share the ring with him.
Yeah, I think that'd be actually, that's a yeah. Look at me like I'm a matchmaker. Be honest about how far that you believe that you can go.
Well, look, I'm in this to go the whole way. I mean, I've sacrificed everything for this. Not just me, my family, my dad. He's put every single penny he's got into this boxing. It's not a cheap sport. It's a very expensive sport, especially training camps and stuff. So, look, I've got the platform now, thanks to Frank, and I believe I can go the whole way. I mean, if this
Well,
fight comes off next, then look, I've even told Frank and the head of Queensbury, we'll sell that short. We'll sell the short ourselves if it was to happen. But let's see.
so listen, you're somebody that's able to sell out. You sell a ticket, and that's great, and we all know that promoters love that. I think you have a style that's exciting to watch, so you kind of got that, box ticked as well.
Yeah,
Um, but what do you still need to do to reach that world level?
I can't really talk about it until if this fight comes off. I've got, you know what it is. You're planning things in boxing, and unfortunately, it never comes off. I mean, you're going to be at this stage, that stage, this stage, and things just happen always like you get real off the road. So for me, it's just one step at a time at this specific time. But the end goal is to become a world champion and something that I'm confident and God willing it will happen.
Obviously, everyone has plans, and
Yeah,
it's effectively in everybody else's hands, isn't it?
yeah, of
But
course.
what can you do to personally kind of improve your, your positioning and moving up in those little increments?
I've just got to keep winning. Whoever they put in front of me, I just have to keep winning, winning, keep kicking the doors down, which I've done, and I'll get there. That's the only thing I can do. That's in my power is keep winning and selling tickets.
Yeah. 1,000 tickets, that's crazy.
Well, to be fair with you, look, if I headline my own show, I'm confident doing 3,000 tickets.
Serious?
Seriously.
So when you walk around Bolton, is it kind of like, are you
You know, I don't
you know
know
what
why
I
everyone
mean?
says this. I have hold up, nobody knows me. So
But
yeah.
can you move it? No, no, I'm serious, because obviously if you're selling that level of tickets, then you
You know
must
what?
be,
Everyone in Bolton's actually very supportive of me. And look, no one like bothers you or anything. I mean, the only time it gets kind of, not saying annoying, but kind of annoying is when you're like cutting weight when it's close to fight time. And I can't say no to anyone. It's like they call me here or they want a picture. I struggle. That's why sometimes I tell myself out of Bolton because it gets a bit difficult.
yeah, and you're talking about you're away from home at the minute, aren't you? You're in
Yeah.
a secret location. But, I mean, you talk about do you think that fans sometimes don't understand that, especially that level of cutting weight and how that affects you? Is it hard for them to understand that part?
Yeah, I think only boxing people or people who like in boxing will understand. I mean, look, it's not the normal person will understand because they're not in that field. So it's kind of hard to explain to them because they'll never understand it until they go through it like themselves. They'll have someone to go through it, but it's just part of the sport, and it's something you have to just deal with.
Yeah, that making weight.
Difficult.
Yeah, it's not only difficult, it's like it's not even just I think some people just think it's about hunger and it's like so much more, isn't
Yeah,
it?
a lot more to it, of course, a lot more.
Yeah, the psychological aspect of it, the hangry. Do you get hangry?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the last 10 days, I mean, every fighter does. Which one? And if they say they don't, they're lying. Unless you're a heavyweight.
Yeah. Do you know what I do respect though? Because I'm not sure I could do it. The fact that you guys do press days and
Yeah.
are able to kind of manage that, I have the utmost respect for you guys because if it was me, honestly, I'd just be like,
I mean, you gotta put lip balm on to stop the dry lips, and you just get on with it.
is that right? But even just the mental clarity of like having to answer questions, you're like, oh mate, I just want to punch
I
this
mean, you
person
just
in
want
the
to fight
face.
you just want to fight at that time, but you got to keep talking about the same thing. But it's part of selling the fight and something you have to do.
Do you feel any pressure? Because you have been kind of named as the kind of new British
Yeah.
Pakistani boxer. Do you feel any pressure having that sort of title hanging over your head?
No, not really, because look, this is what I've trained to do, something I've been working towards. I mean, this is people just think that I'm on TV now and stuff like that, but nothing was given to me. I mean, I've had to get everything the hard way. I mean, so many fights I've fought for free. I forget free gone minus just to get to this position. It's a very, very, very hard game to make it with, especially when you're not signed from the start, I should say, or given the platform from the start. But it's what's made me today.
That's incredible to hear that you fought, especially in this day and age, for no money.
Got minus.
Wow. Is that so? Okay, clarify. Is that because the expenses took over the wage or there was just no wage at all?
Boss.
That says a lot about your mindset and who you are and what you're willing to do. I think that's incredible and a great teaching moment for people that sometimes you've just got to sacrifice to get where.
Where you need to get to.
Does that come from your parents?
Yeah. I mean, look, both my parents are, they've worked very hard to get where they got to. And it's not been easy for them, especially with my boxing, because look, from the amateurs, I was obviously traveling up and down the country, going to different training facilities, and it's expensive, very expensive. It's not cheap, and this is no funding, no sponsorship, nothing. And even at the start of the professional career, you're on a ticket deal, but then every time you're winning your opponent's costing an arm and a leg. And basically you're fighting for free. I mean, to be honest with you, even a couple of fights ago, I was fighting for free. People don't realise this, but alhamdulillah, I'm in a better position where now I can negotiate. But that's what you have to do if you don't have the backing from the start. Or maybe it's not even, I mean, a lot of people have backing from the start, but they kind of fall off. Whereas me, it's kept me hungry. And yeah, I've learnt my trade.
Is that the key that keeps that hunger? I mean, listen, we'd all like an easy ride, but
Yeah. The start of last year, I was back on the small hall shuttles at the start of last year, and I fought for free. This was last year, and then obviously I got Frank brought me back, and I've been able to excel since.
and hearing that and having gone through that, what would your advice be to boxers that listen, yeah, some people have had a loss and they have to kind of go back to let's say the beginning almost.
Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give to people that are kind of not just starting out, but trying to make that slippery, trying to navigate that slippery road to the top?
Always believe in yourself. I mean, look, I've had many people that have taught me at boxing to go like do another thing where you can earn money and you don't need to stress, But for me, if you believe in yourself and you back yourself, you're gonna get there. I mean, listen, most people who are successful, it's never been easy. There's always like some kind of triangle, some kind of to get there. But that's what you have to do. And if you're not willing to do that, then clearly it doesn't really mean much to you. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I have to agree. I feel like sometimes, or should I ask you this? Do you see the difficult road as a blessing?
Yes, because like when I train now, especially when you have a fight and stuff, and you got an opponent or whoever you fight. I know I don't want to go back to where I came from. More motivation in training, the more fire's burning, and for me, because like I said, every win I get now is put me on that bigger pedestal, bigger platform, bigger fights. So yeah.
I feel like the breakthrough's coming. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. I want people to kind of get behind you and get to know you. For those that don't, go and check out some fights. Head to your what's your Instagram?
Khaleel Majid.
Khaleel Majid.
Khaleel Majid. Majid.
Majid.
MAJ for joy ID.
So yeah, people just get behind him because listen, you got fan friendly. That old saying, fan friendly style.
Get punched.
No, but it's true though. It's true. You are actually an exciting fighter. But yeah, listen. I'm wishing you all the luck. I hope that things come to fruition over the next sort of year to couple of years.
Thank you. Appreciate that.